Howdy folks, welcome to the channel. Sorry we haven't posted in a while, we've been pretty busy moving into the new shop, but today we're going to be working on my 1971 Ford F250 Highboy Custom. As you may remember from last video, we were talking about getting these new bushings put in. They finally came in this last week. Let me see, the old ones are right here. It's a pretty good before and after. I mean, they were pretty done, you know. So we're gonna go ahead and get these put back in. First we gotta get them taken back off. We gotta put some grease on all the mating surfaces. And then we'll go ahead and put it on the jack and throw it back up in there. So we're just gonna take the slightest little bit. All I got is wheel bearing grease, so that's gonna have to work. The slightest little dollop right there. Ever so slightly. Put some on there. Just like that. And I don't know why the instructions say to do this. It just says to put grease on there. So that is what we are doing. If you want to take a real quick peek, I am just putting the lightest, ever so slight coat of grease on there. Not much to just barely enough to coat it. So we're just gonna set all these back up on here. Take this grease back. Okay. And then we're just gonna put a little bit more on this side. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now we're just gonna set it all together and throw it on the jack. Okay. We got this one here, going right up. This one here, sitting there. Okay. And so the instructions do say that there is no washer or anything that sits in between this bracket plate and these bushings, so I'm just gonna throw them together just like that. Okay. And then the instructions just say that you throw that washer over the top with your castle nut and call it good. Alrighty then. So whenever I took this off, I found that the castle nuts, they didn't sit all the way down on the stud enough to get the cotter pin through it. There was no cotter pins in there. And for the life of me, I just can't seem to find any torque specs at all for this. So the best piece of advice I could find was just to tighten it down till you see the polymer bushing just flex a little bit. And then other than that, we're just gonna send it and call that the torque spec. Shop dog of the day right here. If you take a look up in there, that is what it looked like whenever I pulled it off. That one, I don't know why that washer's sitting in there like that. It's as tight as I can get them. I'm doing that to this side here, getting them all tightened down, and then we'll tighten down these puppies right here, and then she'll be torqued down, ready to go. Transfer case will be in. If you look up in here, I can barely get like 2 clicks on it and then it turns, so it's taken me a while to get it going, you know. Eventually it'll get there, sooner or later. This is a real quick side-by-side comparison of what the bushing looks like whenever it's tightened and whenever it looks like whenever it's not. You know, and as far as I know, it's supposed to do that. It's like the washer's supposed to sink into the bushing, and once it's level, that's when you know it's torqued. As far as I know, I can't find any torque spec whatsoever for anything on here. So I mean, I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. If you look up in here, you can see everything looks like it's torqued down correctly. Now all we got to do is tighten these guys down, let it off the jack, and then we're good to go. Now we gotta get these bolts and nuts right here tightened back down. So we're gonna hook the let's reverse forward, hook the old impact up to it, and let it rip. Now we're gonna have to lower this jack to get in on this one here. Not yet. But we're gonna have to lower this jack to get on this nut right here, because this is just all up in the way. So we tighten this one down. Okay. Come on. Take 2. Let's try this again. This guy on there. There we go. Perfect. Of course the air compressor kicks on. Next step is just to remove the jack. Everybody's clear. Nobody's gonna get hurt. Okay. Atta girl, she is in. Let's take a peek up here. There's no wiggle, no wobble. Look at that. I mean, I'd say that's pretty good, huh? Now we just got to put the drive lines in. We got to wait for the U-joints. We got the U-joints coming in. And then we'll put the drive lines in, and then we'll do a little test drive, make sure that everything right here is good. And then we're going to be looking at the brakes and then shocks. You can see that shock bushing right there is just completely missing. We're going to have to address that pretty quick. The transfer case is in. Might as well, since we have the transfer case in, we're going to go ahead and get this shift linkage thrown back up there. And then next week, whenever we get the U-joints, we'll get the drive lines put up, and then we'll be able to take it for a little spin. So that linkage is going to go from here, this point, to this point right here. Okay, and then we're just going to set it up to there just like that. This is what came out of it, this little piece of wire. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that back and pretend like that's a cotter pin. Gonna slide this on in the hole here, like that. Bring it around, and yeah, that's pretend cotter pin. Perfect. And then coming up over here on this side, this side's got a Bluetooth cotter pin. This it's not going to have one in it for now. We are going to put one in it before we move it, just to be safe. We just don't have any cotter pins on handy, so we're going to wait for the trip to get the U joints. That's going to be a next week trip. And then next step, we're just going to go ahead and connect this linkage this cable right here. I believe this goes to the speedometer. I could be wrong, but as far as I know, this is a speedo cable. This might go in there a certain way. It does look like it's kind of shaped to fit. So let me see. Let me get this put in real quick. Okay, we have this all nice and tightened down. This is what she looks like from the outside. Finally back in the truck. It's nice to see it there. Next, we got to get like I said, we got to get the drive lines. I found that I don't know why Ford didn't just make all the U-joints the same size. Every drive shaft U-joint is going to be different, so we're going to have to take all the U-joints or all the drive lines into AutoZone and see if we can't measure them up, because I just didn't save any of them. Like, which smart person would save their U-joints, right? In the next video, we're going to be removing these exhaust manifolds, installing some new headers, and then hopefully we're just going to be able to drive it down to the exhaust shop. Whenever we get the brakes figured out, we got to get the brakes before we even drive this thing again. We got to at least look at the brakes. But before we do that, we're going to get some new headers on there, and then like I said, U-joints, and then the brakes. Brakes really shouldn't be too bad. They work. In the process of towing it down here, you can see we did kind of cause some leaks some places, and then here you can see we damaged the brake lines a little bit, but it ain't too much to fix. It's just crimped a little bit. Cut it off here, put a new piece of line in it, and it'll be all right. It'll be good. But now that we're in a place with no neighbors, why don't we go ahead and give you guys a cold start. Okay, let's get the battery plugged in. Thank you guys for dropping into the video. If you guys want to see some more classic truck shenanigans, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys.